everybody, Doug Hanson here. As you can see, I'm in my tux. I'm dressed for success. I'm about to go downstairs for the National Academy of Best-Selling Authors Award Banquet, where I am being recognized for my book Ready, Set, Go with Brian Tracy, which was a best-selling book. So I'm really excited about that. But it hit me today as I was in my hotel room getting dressed that I have some of my best moments, my clearest thinking when I'm in a hotel room. Now see, one of the downsides of being a speaker is that you're by yourself a lot. You travel and you're in these hotel rooms by yourself a lot, but the good side of that is you get a chance to read and process and think. But it hit me one day that, yeah, but I'm just not sharing these clear moments with people. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna try something new. Let's see if it takes off. I'm gonna start something called, I think I'm gonna call it Hotel Hits, standing for humor, inspiration, and tips. And today is the first volume, and I'm calling it Who's Bumping Your Boat? So here's how it works. See, I think if you're like most people, you had somebody in your life when you were young. For me, it was my parents, but for some people, it's their grandparents or aunts and uncles or their best friend's parents or a coach or a teacher. The point is, you have somebody when you're young that helps you stay on track. For me, my parents, when I did good, I got praise and I got privileges. When I was bad, I got punished, right? And so they do these things to help us stay on the right track. And this is how it works. Think of life as a river, and we're all going down the river of life. So picture a little small boy boat. Of course, I'm a male, so I can relate to the little boy. A little boy boat going down the river of life. And it's right down the middle, it's moving fast, and there's times he doesn't feel safe, right? But he figures it out. And then as he gets a little older and he's feeling comfortable, he looks over one day and he starts seeing on this side of the river, there's some rocks and some waterfalls, right? And there's all these different things. There's tree stumps sticking up out of the water. And he's like, ooh, that looks kind of fun over there. There's some rapids even. So he starts moving towards that because it looks dangerous and exciting. And that's when Mama Boat comes in beside him and says, oh no. And she bumps him right back to the middle and she says, son, listen, there's plenty of time for that kind of stuff later. You're not quite ready for that. There's plenty of danger right down the river, right down the middle of the river of life. And so he's like, okay. And so he's disgusted with that, but he goes with it. A few years later, he's going down the river of life and he looks over and there's this cove where the water gets in there and it doesn't move much. It becomes stagnant and murky. It's covered in a green slime. There's snakes going through it. There's creatures in the forest with their eyes blinking. And the little boy's like, man, that looks mysterious over there and adventuresome, and wow, that looks dangerous. I kind of want to see, he's trying to find, young boys, they want to feel like a man and grow up. I think I need to get over there. And he starts moving that way, and what happens? Papa Boat says, no. And he bumps him back to the middle. He says, no, boy, we ain't going over there. We're staying right over here. And what's really interesting is Papa Boat stays right between him the whole time, between him and the danger, until he's free of it. And then he just keeps going down the river of life until he grows up. So here's my point, is who is bumping your boat, right? Because when we get older, most people don't have anybody anymore. Like for me, I'm fortunate. I have a great wife. She doesn't nag me or criticize, all those negative words people like to use. She bumps my boat. Every now and then, she has to say, Doug, I know that's not the man you want to be. I know your heart. I know your convictions. And she says, I know that's not what you want to be. I want you to rethink that. And she helps me get back on track. She bumps my boat. So my question to you is, who is bumping your boat? Because if you're like me and you have someone, that's great. Thank them. Keep giving them permission. But even if you have them, you need to do this next step. But for those of you that don't have somebody, here's the point. You got to bump your own boat. And what does that mean? It means you got to read the books. You can't just sit around and say, I know it all already. You got to keep challenging your thinking. More important than anything, the key thing here about bumping your own boat is challenge your conditioning, because the world is a negative place and it's trying to bring us all down. Whether it's the media or online social media or your caustic friend at work or just whatever. There's so many people that aren't happy unless they're unhappy. They're not happy and content unless they're complaining and criticizing and angry and starting fights. And you can't be part of that. You got to bump your own boat and get back onto the place of hope and faith and trust and positivity and optimism. These are the things that you're all born with. We all are born with these things, but we lose track over time, and pretty soon that becomes our reality. So just so you know, that's what I think I do for a living. I bump people's boats. I'm not trying to make anybody make a 90-degree turn or a 180. All I do is I help people get back on track. And most people don't need much. They just need a little bump. I mean, most people are living pretty good lives, but every now and then they just get a little off track. And so, by the way, that's a good reminder for you, because I bet you are a person that somebody looks to bump their boat. So be on the lookout for that. Thanks so much. I hope this thing takes off. Be on the lookout for my next Hotel Hits. Who knows when it'll come.